anniversary of the deadly shooting at Highland Park's 4th of July parade. The community is still healing and grieving for those lost in the tragedy. And Stephanie Garrity is the executive director of Rainbows for All Children, a therapy group that has been providing support for the groups of children of Highland Park. And she joins us now live to talk about tomorrow's anniversary and some advice for parents. Stephanie, thank you very much for being with us. I know you're also a resident of Highland Park, so this is very personal for you. Talk to me about the efforts that you have undertaken in the last year and what that support looks like there in Highland Park.
Sure. So what we do is we train volunteers worldwide to lead peer support groups for youth ages 3 to 25 who are grieving a lost or missing family member or some kind of community tragedy like the Highland Park Parade. And so it's not therapy. Lay persons can volunteer to lead support groups, and that is always when it works best because these are folks who are credible messengers from the child's own community. And so they typically lead a 12 to 13 week support group with, it's typically in 2-year increments because a lot of brain development happens in, across a 2-year period for youth. And so they lead these 12 to 13 week support groups that are very well illustrated in our facilitator handbook. It makes it so easy, and because it's not therapy, it's simply guided peer support. It's a very strong community building tool, especially when communities are in crisis.
And I understand that this is part of a partnership with the Highland Park Park District. Can you get more into this idea of therapy versus support? When I think of support, I'm really thinking of discussion and activities. Is that kind of where this sort of support goes, or what does it really look like?
So for the Rainbows program, where our strength is in building community, because we know that people heal best in community. And when I say heal, I don't mean that people are broken and need to heal. I mean there's been an injury and folks need to heal, whether they're children or adults. And so by doing the guided peer support through activities, we develop coping strategies. We give kids a place to come together and recognize that they are not the only person experiencing these feelings. And that is particularly profound for children because they operate in a place of often thinking that, oh, I'm the only one that's having these feelings. I'm the only one struggling. Therapy is definitely more one-on-one, and there's definitely a place at the table for both. There are some people who need both. Some people only need therapy. Some people do just fine with peer support. But I think that piece of healing and community is very powerful.
And I know separation anxiety is a big symptom, a big telltale sign that that a child is hurting. What are some ways that you would suggest that parents really kind of tune into that, and what would you suggest they do to try to help that child along through this process in the last half a minute that we have left here?
Sure. So I think the number one thing parents can do to help is listen. When your child says, hey, I heard this happened, or what happened when I heard those loud noises? Always ask the child first, no matter how old they are, what do you think happened? What did you hear? Because part of healing is telling their story. And you see that with adults too. It's like we say that to each other, where were you on July 4th? Where were you on September 11th? So telling the story is a very powerful piece. And then in terms of separation anxiety, I think sitting down with kids, helping them identify all of the people who are around them that are the helping people, the people that care about them, their family, their neighbors, their parent, the friends of their parents, first responders, but really helping them identify who are the people around you who are the helping people. And they start to see that they're surrounded by this huge network of people who care. And all a child needs to succeed is literally one caring, invested adult. That's what makes the difference in the healing journey.
Stephanie Garrity, thanks for doing what you're doing, and thanks for being with us this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. And stay with WGN for special coverage of the anniversary of the Highland Park shooting. Beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow, we will be bringing you the remembrance ceremony and the community walk that will be held in memory and honor of the victims.